Like I tell her all the time, when we're down and I'm telling her it's either gotta work or it's gotta work. There's no other option. Like, this has to work. Yeah. And it has to go the way that we had it planned. Like, we've written down everything. We kept so many like dry erase boards in the house because we started in the house. Yeah. So just being like going back to 2020 when we first started and looking at those dry erase boards with all those orders that we had in the house doing that we had to deliver, to now going into a Square system and seeing all those orders we're doing in a day, or all the money we're producing in a month. It's either gotta work or it's gotta work. It's gotta happen or it's gotta happen. There's no other option. Like, we have to have this happen. Yeah. And the key to manifestation for me is just like, I left corporate America for this. Yeah. I'm back home for this. I went back in retail for this. Like, we're doing this for our mother. This has to happen, So yeah, like, you got to put the business on your back. Yeah.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Armand back again with another episode of Big Boss Talk, the podcast. Listen, I got a double banger today. We got two people on the mic, on the screen, and it's gonna be fun, man. I always like to say we top tier guests only. I was talking to them before we even went live. I was like, man, it seems like I get everybody from USC. It's a family. Everybody at USC, the black USC, they put each other on. Like, I mean, the love is being shared around. I almost feel like I went to USC, but I didn't go to USC. I went to a little small school up there in Greenville, South Carolina. So familiar with the territory, familiar with USC. But let's get into the guest, all right? So we got Shaquasia Coleman, better known by Quay, age 37, career/job. She's a former property management professional, entrepreneur, co-owner of JuiceCrush LLC. College degree, she went to the University of South Carolina, Columbia. Public relations, she also went to Webster University, got an MBA, and then she went to Webster University and got the MBA in Human Resource and Development, 2 years in her profession. And I also think she went to Clark Atlanta for a year and then transferred. So hopefully I can ask a couple questions about that and how we go from Clark Atlanta to USC. That's crazy.
I know.
It's crazy. And then I have Labria Strong, age 30, career/job. She's an entrepreneur as well, co-owner of JuiceCrush LLC, South Carolina Realtor, college degree, University of South Carolina, Columbia, got a degree in public health, years in the profession. I think it's 2 years as an entrepreneur and then 6 as a realtor, correct? Correct. Awesome. Well, listen, guys, say what's up to the podcast.
Hey, we're so happy to be on Big Boss Talk, man. We made it.
Hey, nah. Listen, I made it. I'm super happy to have you guys. I never take it for granted, man. I always tell people, like, the guests make the podcast. And, I always like to just tell people before we start the purpose, it's really for people like you, you know what I'm saying? Strong black African-American women surviving, striving, and doing exceptionally well in you guys' craft. Obviously, there's some success, there's some failures, but that's a part of life. But people, little, minority women, black boys and girls need to see you guys, and you guys need to share your story so they can feel like I can do this too. If they can do it from Myrtle Beach, man, we can do, we can do it too. So I'm super glad to have you guys, and I'm glad y'all want to be on the show. That means a lot to me. But we're gonna jump right into it, okay? So we're gonna do obviously we got most embarrassing moment, which I can't wait to hear this, and then we got 2 truths and a lie. So let's go ahead and start it off.
Look, I'm super duper transparent. I'll tell anything about my life. So I want to say this was in 2019. My cousin, he went to Carolina. His wife is she went to Carolina as well. And she's from Theta Gamma. She's an AKA. And they had this wedding here in Myrtle Beach. They got married and had their wedding in Myrtle Beach. So we're at the reception and I wear wigs. And so one of my wigs I had is nice. It got bangs. It's like 26 inches. Yeah. And we're on the floor, like dancing. But they have a fire, like the candles the reception hall was really nice.
Okay.
And then they had candles in the back. And then one of the guests, she was Caucasian, and she comes to me with a glass of water, and she goes, "Your hair is on fire." No. I was like, I want to take my unit off, but I was not taking my unit off. I refused. But one of the girls the caterer, she like got something that was hitting my head and like everybody saw my hair get on fire, and then so I come out of the bathroom, they're all in there.
I was like looking at her like,
"Are you okay?"
But it was the way she came to me. She's like, "Your hair is on fire." So when I come back out, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, you all right? Because we heard your hair got caught on fire." And I was like, "Oh, it's time for me to go. I've been here for all these decades. I don't want to be here. My hair on fire." And then so my cousin, after his wedding, he calls his mom, and his mom calls us, and she goes, "Did Quage's hair get caught on fire?" And we were like, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, it did." See, but my wig is saved. My wig is fine.
That's all that matters. Listen, you didn't take the unit off. The wig was saved. Nope. That's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? I understand what you mean, though. You was in a room full of AKAs. Who knows what they saying, all that. But it don't matter. It don't matter. But that is definitely funny. It reminds me of the time I almost
a viral moment.
That was a viral moment. Yeah, I'm glad no one had their phone out.
Viral for sure. Okay, so now we're going to 2 truths and a lie. So hopefully I can guess the lie.
All right. One. So I am a real estate agent, as you know.
Okay.
I am, this year I'm a multi-millionaire producer.
Mm-hmm.
Sold a lot. Also, I am working on a few projects, and one being a flip. One being, flip for a fixer-upper. My next one is, and I'm a traveler, and I've traveled all 50 states.
Okay, so I gotta guess the lie in this. I don't know if all of these are true. They all sound very true. So the first, a realtor, right? You said that's the first one. You're a realtor. Number 2 was you're a producer.
Yeah. Multi-millionaire producer. Working on flipping my first property.
Okay.
And I've traveled all 50 states.
Okay, you traveled all 50 states. So listen, I'm gonna go with my gut on this one. I'm gonna say travel all 50 states is the lie. I do believe, I asked for the Instagram. I try to do a little bit of the research, you know what I mean? I do see that you're a realtor. You sell some houses. Multi-million, golly. I don't count pockets. Black people be wealthy.
And we don't like it count.
Oh my God, all 50 states. All right, so I'm gonna say you said I'm gonna go with the multi-millionaire is the lie. I believe you're a producer. I feel like you got producing some shows, multi-millionaire. I don't know. I hate to say it. I'm just gonna say that's the lie, and then I'm gonna say everything else is no. The last one is 50 states. It's about the 50 states. That's the lie, and that's my final answer.
That is correct.
Let's go.
I've not been to all 50 states yet, but I will be. I'm working on that.
But
Let's
she
is.
Go.
I am a multi-millionaire producer.
A multi-million-dollar producer. Yes. She just doesn't post enough.
I know, but she is always on me like social media. But like you said, people be watching your pockets.
Yeah.
But yes. I'm slinging properties down here in South Carolina.
Definitely in Myrtle Beach.
In Myrtle Beach, for sure. Investment properties are flying. Yes.
That's
way to go.
Crazy, man. Congratulations, man. That's super awesome. I do understand, like, you know what I mean? Like, people be counting your pockets, so you gotta be mindful, gotta be aware. But, you know what I mean? Social media, I don't know. You might be on Selling Sunset next. I don't know.
Tell her. Get into it.
You know what I'm saying? You might be on Selling Sunset. I don't want you to block your blessing, but I understand the security piece because it is crazy out here, and you got to do what you got to do to stay safe. So that's pretty dope. I like that. I like the embarrassing moment. Haircut on fire. Crazy moment. If people was recording back then, you definitely would have been on Twitter right now.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Absolutely.
So look, we're gonna go into it. I got these quick questions, all right? Quick questions to kind of get to know you guys. What I want you to do though is both of you guys can answer. I have no order in which you guys want to answer. It's just whoever feels comfortable to answer the question. So the first question is, what's the best piece of advice someone has ever given you?
That is a good one. For me, being in the sales game for so many years, it's people buying people. Like people buy people.
Yeah.
And that's been super duper important for the trajectory of my whole career. Is like, people bought me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not an act, but I'm just saying, like, this is it, and they like it. I am who I am, and just with selling and making people comfortable, and them having repeat now with us in the business. Like, we have so many repeated customers, because they bought us and they love coming here and they love how we make them feel.
Yeah.
But the most important part is, like, people buy people and they look at everything you do, how you make them feel, and the experience that you give them. Just having a conversation with them, it's all in that sale.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to be sold. I hate even when you're buying a car, I just hate the feeling of being sold.
Yeah.
But when
they got me.
Yeah, like, I just got it. But when it's some genuine shit, you like, this is it.
Right.
I love this experience.
There's no buyer's remorse. You know what I'm saying?
None.
When you buy people. So I've been in sales ever since my senior year in college. So I understand that statement for sure. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to come off as like a salesman, like when you got your pitch memorized and you just going off verbatim just because it's ingrained in the system versus like listening to the person, bring your personality into it. And, people going to buy into you. So I definitely think that's like some top tier advice for anybody. You don't even necessarily have to be in the sales, but just, just be yourself all the time. You don't have to put on an act or anything like that. But I think that's key. I appreciate that.
What's yours?
Mine would be manifesting what you want, speaking it into the atmosphere, saying it loudly.
Yeah.
That's one thing that we've learned, like, hey, just speaking into franchising or just going to different spaces and having multiple JuiceCrushes, throughout the state and other states, and just putting it out in the atmosphere, because when you do, it definitely comes back. Yeah. And, you're like, oh, I didn't believe this was going to happen so quickly sometimes, So, putting it out in the atmosphere, manifesting it and knowing like this is going to happen. Okay. This is going to happen and you'll see it. You'll see it happen.
It got to happen. Manifesting, like I always, manifesting is real. Sometimes I don't even realize when I'm manifesting. Sometimes I just be talking because it's always like this self-belief. Like being an entrepreneur, you guys know, like, you got to see the vision before anybody else will. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, once you get this idea in your head, like, you got to manifest that it will come, because if you listen to everybody else, sometimes it could be negative. You could not go forward with the plan. You can not, you know what I'm saying? Then you miss out on your blessing. And so, you hit on a good point. I want to ask, like, what's the key to manifesting, though? Like, I feel like, because a lot of people say, oh, I'm manifesting, but, it's not coming in their timetable. You see what I'm saying? So it's almost like, they stop believing in the manifestation. So, like, what is the key that continues to, tell you guys, I got to keep manifesting, even if it's not in the correct timetable or your timetable that you want?
Like I tell her all the time, when we're down I'm telling her it's either got to work or it's got to work. There's no other option. Like, this has to work. And it has to go the way that we had it planned. Like, we've written down everything. We kept so many, like, dry erase boards in the house because we started in the house.
Yeah.
So just being, like, going back to 2020 when we first started and looking at those dry erase boards with all those orders that we had in the house doing, that we had to deliver, to now going into a square system and seeing all those orders we're doing in a day, or all the money we're producing in a month. It's either gotta work or it's gotta work. It's gotta happen or it's gotta happen. There's no other option. Like, we have to have this happen. And the key to manifestation for me is just like, I left corporate America for this.
Yeah.
I'm back home for this. I went back in retail for this. Like, we're doing this for our mother. This has to happen, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, you got to put the business on your back.
Yeah. It's almost seemed like y'all put yourselves against the wall. And it's
We
like,
did.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's risk, though. Like, and it's, I get motivated just by hearing other people's stories because it's like, you know what I'm saying? You got to think about the decisions. Sometimes I think about decisions I made, decisions that other people made, like, you know, it made her felt it was uncomfortable at first, but it's like my back against the wall. I can't turn. It's like you got to burn the boat at some point. Like we can't retreat. You know what I'm saying? So it's like keeping going, and you know, it just got to happen. So I like that. And Labria, do you have anything as far as like your key to manifesting?
Yeah, we talk to God daily.
And we pray
daily.
Yeah.
And you know, we're screaming our name like, listen, God, I know you hear us. It is us again. JuiceCrush. Hearing God, JuiceCrush. And you know, so he knows, listen, you know, we gotta get JuiceCrushes everywhere, you know. And then one of her goals, you know, when back in 2018, she wrote us a check to ourselves and was like, listen, we're going to write this check for $1 million. I know we ain't cashing it no time soon, but this check is going to come back to us and it's going to clear one day, you know? And that's one of the reminders. She has it on her board at her house. Right. But it's just like, you know, you just got to keep thinking big, got to keep putting up, you know, your name, your business name in the atmosphere and pray.
Yeah. That's huge. That's huge. I almost thought about writing a check too because I thought I was gonna hit this Powerball.
No, do it.
Yeah, then look at it.
I wrote an estate check from my mom's estate account because you know we're doing JuiceCrush for our mother. And so I put the Strong Girls because my mother's last name is Strong. My sister's last name is Strong. We're from the Strong family, so I put the Strong Girls because that's what everyone knows us as. It's either the Juice Girls or the Strong Girls. So I put that on a check and I put $1 million. It's February 24, 2018. Yep. And it says reward. Like, that's it. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
I can't wait till y'all cash that. I can't wait till y'all cash that check. Y'all got to.
Well, we going to call you.
Just let me know. I'll be like, y'all cash that check.
I'm going to do like Miss Minnie did Martin on the Martin show and give you $1. Right?
Nah, we good. What's a hobby that you guys have that people don't know? I know, like, when you get caught up in business, like, sometimes all your mind just thinks about is the business constantly. But what's a hobby where you step back and you be able to recenter yourself and be like, give you that energy to come back into the business and hit the ground running again with new goals or just continue to hit the goals that you already have set?
I'll let you go first.
Well, us being here at the beach, you know, one of our things is like once we go to the beach and actually like decompress and reset and, you know, just going out there, even if it's just like, listening to podcasts or, you know, bringing a book or even just drinking a glass of wine or what have you, you know, just going to the beach, listening to the waves and kind of just like becoming, I guess, that one and centering yourselves with the water and just like, you know, this is, sometimes you got to even throw things in the water and be like, you know, let it wash away. You know, you don't want those things. You know, I did that the other week with my boyfriend. Like we went to the river actually and just, you know, so that's one of my things. I guess I'm a water baby. So I do too. Anything with water. That's my thing.
And I have a problem with buying books and sometimes not reading them. But lately, I've been buying a lot of rom-com books and I get lost in the book. Yeah. That's my thing. And then I get right back to it. I try to switch off from rom-com to entrepreneur book. I love listening to podcasts. I listen to podcasts while I'm juicing until a customer comes in. But I just love getting lost into listening to other people's stories. Yeah. Like David Shands, that's my man. Like I listen to him all day. Yep, Ronnie Brown. You know, I just like to listen to different stories and to different reading different stuff, especially about love. Like I'm a cheesy person. And then I like those shows the movies on Amazon, like those terrible.
Oh yeah, the $5. I love a $5 film. $5 film. Great. I love them.
Dude, I called her the other night to ask her boyfriend, y'all saw Plug Love? And they're like, what?
Plug Love is my movie. Like
it's
Hey, not too many people know about plug love. I mean, it showed a lot of love for the big fellas, man. I like it, man. I like it.
I like the big boys, so I was like, look at them.
Yeah. That's cool. So I mean, I think that's necessary to have because when I was, for me, starting off, wanting to be, I think I always wanted to own something of my own. I always thought that I was gonna be a owner or a boss in some type of way. And I get so deep into my thoughts that it was either, like I was just trying to hit it, but I was causing so much frustration because things wasn't happening in my timetable. So I had to develop some hobbies that would take me, like if I get too wound up, how do I step back and adjust and be like, hey, you're doing all right. You still young, you still got, you got time, but you don't have time. You know what I mean? Like, and so it's like, how do you do that? And I wanted to ask y'all because I see you guys do different things, and I know how it is when you have a main job, but then you have your business that you, at the bottom of your heart, this is what you want to be doing full time. Like, if you could leave what you're doing right now, you probably would to do juice, the JuiceCrush, full time, what you guys seem like you guys are doing. But I appreciate that. And then my last question just is, what's the biggest mistake you see people make when going into business?
Oh, we have so many people who come here and ask us for advice. It's not even funny. But the biggest thing is starting a business without protecting yourself. Okay. And having an LLC and not knowing how to get that proper, like they don't know which lane to go into, or they don't even know how to start it, or they didn't even know they needed to have one. Yeah. That it's like somebody can steal your idea. It takes nothing for me to look up the name that you're putting all over social media and saying this is your business, and I can just go ahead and be nasty and buy that LLC right under your nose. Right. But they don't think about those type of things. And so that's the one thing that I see a lot of people they're doing is not protecting themselves and getting the entity set up and having an LLC for their business.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's one of them.
I would say, people comparing themselves to what they see on social media and them thinking like, oh, okay, I'm going to just start being an entrepreneur and everything's going to be great. And I'm telling people like,
you should.
We haven't paid ourselves. Like, seriously, like you go, you're going to go some time without even paying yourself. Like, it was a while where it was just like, we living off tips. So, people just like have that unrealistic expectation. They're comparing themselves to like, oh, this girl can do it. This girl can do it. Yeah. But not realizing like, you need some cushion. You got to go in something with some savings because you're not going to see that return immediately. Right. It may not be like for a whole nother year or more, just being realistic, especially depending on, what lane or industry you're in.
Yeah. I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs and they say some of the same things. I like to say, like, when people look at me, I like to believe like if I tell you like if I can do it, you can do it, which is a true statement. But I also that people have to also know themselves. I think being an entrepreneur is more of a mindset than versus a title. You see, I think people chase the title versus understanding that being a business owner or being an entrepreneur is a mindset, and it's never ending. Like, you're gonna always make mistakes. You're gonna always and it's gonna be money involved. You're gonna lose money. You're gonna gain money. Like, you gotta be prepared for those. Like. Yeah. And like you talk about,
you're gonna break even.
You learn as you grow.
You do. You
learn as you grow.
And I think the most important thing is coming from corporate level positions where you're making X amount of dollars and now you're making this amount and you have to now scale your life. Like I tell her, I'm so thankful that we're still able to live the way that we were living with jobs because we were smart with the money, and then we have savings, and my sister's a multi-million-dollar salesperson, so hey sis.
And then like also with her being my partner, she sacrifices because if I'm gone out showing property, it's falling all on her for the day. So people don't look at it like that, and you got to have that partner that's going to be able to say like, hey, you can step out and I can handle it. Not a lot of people can handle it.
No, they can't. And I tried to work remote for my company that I've been working for, and it was just hard to do both.
Yeah.
It is hard.
Yeah.
It's tough. And so I'm gonna move the conversation forward. I always like to have this question as well. Is in the beginning, like everybody sees the Juice Crush in the back. Hopefully, if they watching, they see that, right? Juice Crush. They can look at the success, on social media, and they can be like, dang, like it happened, kind of happened overnight. But I want to talk about, what did y'all want to be growing up? Because my podcast go to a lot of kids, and I like to tell people that sometimes they get set in their ways, like I want to be this thing, and then they'll go through life and they'll figure out they get hit with curveballs, and then sometimes those curveballs causes sometimes depression. It causes sometimes mental instability. And so I want to ask you guys, what did you see yourself being when you were younger, and are you still doing that?
I for sure am.
Okay.
My sister will tell you, when I was young, what did I call myself?
The businesswoman.
My family called me the businesswoman.
Okay.
I had a thing with business since I've been a kid. Like, just seeing women, like the Maxines on Living Single, and then you have the Jones, and just knowing that these women were producing business. I didn't want to be a lawyer, but I wanted to be a woman who sat behind a desk and called the shots. I've always been mouthy and bossy, and my family called me the businesswoman because that's what I coined myself as, and that's exactly what I'm doing today.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What about you, Bree?
Me, on the other hand, I thought I was going to be a nurse. And that's where, I kind of got the public health degree, because once I did all, getting into nursing school, I was like, yeah this isn't going to work. But I started as in property management. I was actually working for my sister for a few years. And then that's when I was like, I can do this too, and so I just kept going with it. And that's when I decided to get my real estate license. But yeah, I thought I was going to be a nurse, and yeah.
So Quay, we already know you was born to be the business lady. That was already embedded in your mind. But Bree, we got a different scenario. We wanted to be a nurse. Like, what specifically changed your thought process about nursing? Like, what made you just be like, nah, nursing's not it?
Well, so okay. Honestly, so my grandmother was a diabetic.
Okay.
She was a double amputee. So seeing how, when she had like a stroke and going into those nursing homes, and I'm like, all right, so I'm seeing a lot of butt wiping, and I'm like, the only butts I really feel comfortable wiping at this time is my grandmother, and I don't want to, some old people are really nasty, and I'm like, I don't want to, because you can hear how they're talking to the people, and I'm just like, I don't want to deal with that. And granted, I didn't have to deal with the geriatrics of it all. I could have went with the kids and anything, but I was just like, handling someone's body, handling someone's loved one, you have to be in a different mindset every day. And sometimes I don't want to be, like happy-go-lucky, especially if someone's continuing to curse me out, or just, they're having a bad day, and I'm just like, I'm gonna just throw this water at you. No.
Throwing the bedpan at you. All right,
so I was just like, I'm just stick to caring for my grandmother. But thankfully I still had that mindset, so I was able to help my grandmother when she was sick, and then my mom when she got sick. So I kind of already had that thing, but I couldn't help others. I'm sorry.
That's dope. I appreciate that transparency. It's crazy to me how we ask young kids to figure out what they want to be, super young, without really knowing yourself, right? A lot of times, you want to be like a nurse, or you want to be a lawyer, not only because that's kind of like, I think there was an era where that's all our parents was kind of shooting for. Like, we want you to be better than us. So it's like, all right, let's lawyer, nurse, doctor, those professions where there's so many other professions that can pay you just as well as a lawyer, doctor, things of that nature. But the mindset then is a little different now. So, we can only, go off of what we know. So I'm glad we able to bring so many different careers and be able to showcase, like, you could do this, you could be successful in this. But it's like, you have to know yourself before saying you're going to do something for 25, 40 years of your life. That's a long time. Like, you get into something for a year, 2 years, you already done. Like, shoot, for me, I do a job for 6 months. I'm bored. Like, on to the next. And so I think it's super important that you guys were, transparent as far as like why you changed your mind on what you wanted to be, just because you started to know yourself. Like, I'm not, somebody started cussing at me. I can't give them that same grace that they wanted in the beginning. You know what I mean? Like, and my mom's, she's been a nurse for a while, and when I hear people talk, I was like, Mom, I didn't even know you went through all that at work. And so I just be like, shout out to you for going through that, because I know, your son wouldn't be able to do it. So how did y'all get to USC out of all schools? I mean, we could have went anywhere. Like, obviously we had Clark Atlanta. We got HBCUs around, which is a big topic nowadays. Is like going to
nowadays.
So how did y'all get to USC?
So me personally, living in Myrtle, we're from New York. My mom moved me down to South Carolina before she had Labria. And then, so I had the best of both worlds, right? Mm-hmm. My cousin, she was always into like, she lived that different world life. So I knew a lot from her. And then she is a Sigma Gamma Rho. So I always knew about sorority life and just the importance of everything. So Different World was like a good show, the best show, still is one of the best top shows tier. Ever. Yeah, top tier. Going to a predominantly white high school where I'm class president. I'm the senior class president. I applied to over 25 schools. People Magazine reached out to me for it because I was one of the ones who applied to the most schools. And I got into every school except for Carolina in the first round.
What? That's crazy.
I even got into Clemson. I did not get into Carolina. My mom made me apply to Morrison State. I remember that. And then I told her I wanted to go to Clark Atlanta. Like, I had to go to Clark Atlanta. They just had Drumline had came out around that time. I graduated in 2003. So I was like, yo, it's Drumline. She went with us. We went to our visit. And I was like, Mom, I love this school. Boom, boom, boom. But my mom's like, this school is super expensive. But you know what? Your dad and I will make it work. Right. But before I went to Clark Atlanta, she tried to get me to go to State. And they had one room left. And it would be my only room. It'd be my single room by myself. Yeah. But it had no window.
Ooh.
And I said,
that's a deal breaker?
Yeah, that was a deal breaker for me.
Okay. You didn't want to be in jail. I see.
So I said, I can't do it without a window, Mom. And she was like, you just want to go to Atlanta. And guess where I went? To Clark Atlanta. I had my own room and I had a window.
Let's go. What was the experience like at Clark Atlanta?
Man, it was the best. It was the best year I've ever had in college. Like, I met so many people. I still stay in touch with a lot of those people. Yeah. And just knowing like the history behind it and the mottos and the legacy and like each one teach one, I learned from them, and find a way to make one. I learned from Clark Atlanta. Homecoming experience. Yeah. It was just out of this world. Coordinations, the parties, and man, that school will always have a space in my heart. Like, I was the dorm president. I had a good time, like making my name known. And then at that time, I was studying journalism. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to be on radio. And Clark Atlanta set you up your freshman year to succeed. Like, they want you to start doing internships early. They have buildings where you can go. Like, I was on the radio at 5 o'clock in the morning, waking up as a freshman, going down to the radio station and learning the behind the scenes of how to be on radio. That's hard. So that's one thing I did love about going there. It's like they set you up in your career field early. You just got to take the opportunity and do what they set out for you to do. But during my fall semester, they sent the letter home. It was around October, almost November, before Thanksgiving break. They sent the letter home saying they may lose their accreditation. Oh. And then my mom was like, listen, we don't have time for that. You either are going to come home to go to Coastal or you're going to Carolina. Well, my best friend was a year under me and my cousin was already at Carolina. So I was like, girl, I'm going to Carolina with them.
See ya.
I'm not going to Coastal. But Coastal at the time, they just had the football team. So they were blown up but I didn't give it a shot. I was like, I'm going to Carolina, and I got in, I transferred, I did my little transfer records, and hey, They accepted me this time.
Hey, it's all
and I got
good.
a life scholarship, so I saved a lot of money.
Yeah.
Going to a private school, you're spending money. Like, I know Park Atlanta was easily 26, 27, but the food and the housing, man, it was good. It was a good time.
Can't beat that. What about you, Bree? How you get to USC?
Well, I went to Winthrop University my first year.
Shout out to Rock Hill.
In Rock
in the city.
But I found myself at USC every weekend.
Yeah, because ain't nothing in Rock Hill.
Right. And so
what's that called? The boater, the shrimp boat?
The shrimp boat,
oh, shrimp boat gonna hit every time. You know, every time.
She like, bring me something back. Okay. But no, I was just always, and even when she was in college, like I got to experience the parties and everything. Like I was the youngest one in there, but I was like, oh, I really like it here. Yeah. But I tried Winthrop my first year. It didn't really like it, but I met some great people. One of my best friends, I met her. But yeah, I was like, I'm in Columbia every weekend. I might as well just go there. She was already graduated and living there too, so it just made sense. I just transferred.
That's important, man. I like that, because a lot of, well, not anymore, but a lot of kids right now getting ready to graduate. I got a younger brother, he's getting ready to graduate, and he's not going to take the college route because he's a barber, but before we knew that, he wanted to be a barber and everything, we try to just, I always wanted to just ask, like, what do you want to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, where do you want to go? And I don't try to push college because college is not for everybody. But I think it is important that when you make these decisions, you think about some of those important things like the accreditation. Are you going to like where you are? Because, there was an opportunity for myself to possibly go to Clemson. And I was like, it sounds good, right? They known for engineering and everything like that. But would I be taken care of down there? Who knows? Probably not. A lot of things could happen, in those situations. And it's just like, I like to ask the questions because it gives people perspective on what to look for and what to think about when you get ready to go to this school for 4 years. Because it's going to be the best, I would say it's the best time of your life, because it's like, it is. And it's crazy to say that it's 4 years that is the best time of your life. It's crazy to say that, but no responsibility, no bills. Hopefully, you got a meal coming to you. Like you can't. You
have to make the most out of that experience. Like people who say, "Oh, I will never do college again." I would do college 10 times over. Without the debt. Yeah, that's important. Without the debt, I would do college 10 times over because the experience, like even being in Atlanta, I was in Atlanta when white tees and all that was like. I remember us being on trucks jumping like I bang in my white tee. I had that real experience, and then going to Carolina and having a dope experience there as well. Being USC is a PWI, but we still have a large black group of kids and learning so much about the state of South Carolina by going to the university. Like I didn't know the way the people from Orangeburg wore their hair differently from the girls in Greenville.
A little different stuff.
Different stuff. And people say bow and this and like you're not a lie. I'm from Myrtle Beach, so we don't say bow and we don't wear the doobie wrap. So it was different.
It's definitely. I always tell people, college definitely is more. You get the experience when you create, that experience. You'll gain a lot out of it. If you involve yourself, you'll gain a lot out of it. But if you can't go and just stick, try not to stick to yourself. If that's your personality, that's your personality. But I would hope if you get to college, you break out of that personality because the people that you meet later down the line, and everybody's doing so many different things. Like, oh, you got a business, or you work here. She work here. Like, hey, can I get can you plug me in over here? Can you know what I'm saying? Like that stuff is way more important than the stuff you learn in those books. And get the book work done. But
your network is your net worth. Like our lawyer is our soror, which is a neo. Our accountant is a soror, which is a neo. Like it's you got to put each other on. Like you said, we put each other on, and we really do. Like somebody from every entity or any type of career field that you need help in.
Yeah. Immediately
because you made those connections in college.
That's super dope. I think one of your neos do my taxes, so. Shout out to them.
And probably does.
Yeah. All right, cool. That's what's up. How do y'all I think y'all hit on this, but I just want to ask, how do y'all continue to stay motivated? When things are going rough, when you might be having a low month or, a low quarter, how do you guys continue to stay motivated? Because motivation is an emotion, right? Something that I've learned, like I'm an emotional person, a Pisces, water baby to the fullest. So it's like emotions run high in me. So I'm just emotionally, that's just me. So, but I can get drained too, like a battery. So like once the emotion is gone, I don't feel like doing nothing. But I had to learn to stay consistent, right? So I don't want to answer this question, but how do y'all continue to stay motivated?
It's hard.
It is.
Because working in your business all the time, you're constantly working, and then when things don't go right, you're just like, what am I doing? Let me give up. I call her and cry all the time, and she's like my therapist, and I don't pay her enough for it. But so I think just having that someone to talk to you and just say, yo, okay, take a breath, take a break. But our cousin always say you got to sit in your crap.
Yeah.
Get through it, figure out like, hey, what should I do differently or what's next? And then get out of it and go to work again. So I think, just having that person that, you can talk to and, make sure that person has the mental capacity for you to actually unload on them first. Because a lot of people, they're going through their own thing.
Yeah.
So just be like, hey, listen, I'm going through something. Can you talk to me right now? If not, I'll come back. But just having, your people that you can actually unload on, and they know, like, listen, you're just going through this rough patch. You can do it. And then just thinking like, why did I start this in the first place?
What is your why?
What is my why? What is my end goal here? It's always to create, generational wealth for me and my legacy. So I got to just keep that in mind.
That's what's up.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely, she's my motivation because it's just her and I.
Wow.
And so we have each other to continue pushing forward. And I'm so glad that I'm in business with my sister. And a lot of people are like, how do you guys, we're neighbors. We work together. We do everything together, even after work. It's like, girl, where we going to dinner? And then we'll go to dinner like we weren't working together for 12 hours. And she's like, how was your day? I'm like, all day.
Right. Y'all know each other. Y'all know.
So that's my dog, definitely my best friend, and we motivate each other to just continue pushing forward because we know what the end goal is. Like she said, it is to create generational wealth, and we know we're doing this for a purpose, and we're here in a desert community educating our Black community or the African American community on the importance of health, and that's rewarding within itself. Just knowing that we're educating those around us who aren't aware of the importance of staying healthy. They all they know is medicine, right?
Yeah.
And they don't research that medicine either. They don't know like this medicine may do something to this kidney and this kidney may do something to that lung because you're taking this pill, So it's just rewarding for me, and that's what pushes me to keep going is knowing that I'm helping the community.
That's huge. Well, guys, listen, we're coming into the last few minutes of the conversation. I don't like to keep people long. If you believe it, we've been talking almost an hour, which is crazy to me because
I
haven't even got into some of the main questions, but we're gonna get through it because I want to be respectful for your time. Going into JuiceCrush LLC, which is the baby, that's the project, that's what we developing, that's what you guys are doing right now. Where did the idea come from? How did it even start?
Well, Bree started juicing for my mother in 2017. My mom was diagnosed with colon cancer in 2017. And she started chemo and no longer had the urge to eat. And so Bree started making smoothies and juicing for her because she was like, she's not going to eat. All she wants to do is drink. And so she started making her juices and smoothies. Unfortunately, my mother passed away in 2018. And then the two of us, we were still juicing. I went back to work in Atlanta and I was juicing. And I was telling her, I was like, yo, we really need to start selling these juices, to people. Yeah. But then I was in Atlanta and she was in Myrtle Beach. And it was hard for us to do it then. Then COVID sat us down.
Set everybody down.
And then we were really in the house, like, we have to get on top of our health. We started doing CMOS. We just started doing everything to make sure that we were protected. But then we were like, let's start seeing how our family members will react if we were to give them some juice. And I swear to you not, we told one person about it. This one person told her job about it. We sat up all night making orders for this entire restaurant.
Oh, wow.
Like, we didn't even have anything. We had jars at first, and then we started, it just went so fast with Amazon. Like, we just started ordering everything just to put our recipes in. And these are things that we just thought of real quick.
Yeah.
So that happened, and then we started getting serious about it, and we came up with names.
Yeah, because at first it was just like, you want number 1, 2, or 3. Yeah. No name, anything. And then, we had to sit down like, okay, well, we're going to call this thing JuiceCrush. And it was kind of a play on words because we're like, okay, sex sells. So if so if you look at our menu, all of our names are like tailored to a crush. So we got like one called Playing Games or No Front End. Hey
Big
Head is a shot.
Head in the DM.
So
tell you to pull up.
Hey Big Head gotta be number 1.
Yeah, got a sneaky link.
Friends with benefits.
So we wanted to make sure it to keep it catchy, something that's going to be exciting. And then, thankfully, her line sister is a doctor
who studies internal medicine.
And actually, we had our mom go visit her. But we were kind of like, hey, can you just look at our menu and see, what we can do to like tweak this.
Mm-hmm.
And she did, to say, because we were like, hey, we want to make sure we're helping our community. So she's like, add a little ginger here, cayenne pepper, and this to tailor it. And that's how it just kind of.
And all of our juices are aiding in something that's an element in the African American community. So we have something for joint pain. We have something for cholesterol, blood pressure. We have something for high lowering sugar levels. So everything is like, if someone has an ailment in it, we have something for it that tailors that. We want them to understand that, hey, ginger, kale, and apples can lower my blood sugar, or beets, ginger, lemon, and ginger can help lower my blood pressure. And we've had so many success stories. It's like, who would have known if you would have drank a little bit of ginger and lemon and beets, your blood pressure would go down a little bit. And these people are getting off the medicine. Like, I'm not saying we're a secret pill or something, but
it's just consistency.
Lifestyle change. Lifestyle changes. Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Like, y'all make juice sound really great.
It is good.
It tastes.
We can high off our own supply all the time.
Why does healthy stuff taste so different? Because my wife she juices. She loves a good juice. And I'll try it sometimes, but if it's not real citrusy, like I can't really take it down. But I've been making a decision to be more conscious about what I put in my body. So you mentioned CMOS. I just kind of got tapped in with CMOS, and I can see the changes within CMOS, right?
Yeah.
That kind of helps me more clarity in the mind. Kind of helps me relax a little bit more in digestion. All the type of minerals that comes with CMOS is super beneficial. And I know there's always an alternative other than medicine that can cure. It's something out here that can cure everything, right? That's in the earth. We just got to find it, or we got to tap into what it is. How did y'all come up with, what research did y'all have to put into this to come up with the right recipes? And I think you mentioned that you talked to your friend that was an internal doctor, but what did y'all do on y'all's own time as far as like developing these recipes and developing what to put in what juice to make this effect? You know what I'm saying?
So we literally got a juicer and made up a whole bunch. I wish we had like the old recipes that we wrote down and said like 5 apples here, this, that, and the third. But we literally sat up and we saw if we wanted to do something for joint pain, what are all the things that are great for joint pain, you know? And then we will mix it up together. If it tastes good to us, then that was something that we were going to put on the menu. Okay. If this helped me, like sometimes people can't move. We have people who haven't moved bowel movements for days. You know, and we made a juice for ourselves and it worked for me, then I know it's going to work for you. And, you know, we researched what can have you move a BM and, you know, got some cucumber, pineapple, ginger, and lemon, and it worked for us. Yeah. So we knew it would work for them. We like to test it on people, especially family members. Sure. Like her boyfriend, he's our guinea pig. He's definitely a tester. Like he's like, oh, that worked, and that made my stomach hurt. I gotta go, you know. So, but we want things to taste good because we have people who come in here and they're afraid of beets or kale and the mixtures of everything together. And so we want it to taste good. No water, no sugar, no other preservatives that are added in. This everything is coming straight from the fruit and the vegetable itself. That's it. Wow. And so a lot of people are like, "Where's the sugar at?" No, baby, we're not. Can't do that.
All natural.
That's the problem now.
That's the problem.
Yeah, all natural.
Stay away from that sugar. But yeah, we just did a lot of like experimenting. We still experiment to this day.
Researching, you know, benefits of certain vegetables, spices, and, you know, just kind of
Google and YouTube University.
Creating.
I like it. That's dope. I think it's super important, man. When we talk about, I think I'm starting to see more issues now. You know, in people, like, you know, people are getting sicker, you know, or things are happening. It's probably due to just, you know, obviously medication and things that we put into our body, not knowing, you know, just to be more of a quick fix. You know, a Band-Aid, but the longevity of what we're doing is causing more issues or not being helpful at all. And for me, it's just I mentally I want to always stay in the right space. And so for me, I think the journey started with, well, how can I continue to stay focused, or how can I not worry so much, or, you know, maybe get into seasonal depression as much. And it's like, what am I putting in my body? Like, I'm in Houston, you know, everybody wants to hookah, chicken and waffles, mimosa all day long. You know, that stuff adds up, you know what I mean? So it's like, when you think about it, I look at myself, I look at my family, you know, when we got here, you know, I'm pretty sure and then it was during the pandemic, so I'm pretty sure we gained 15, 25 pounds. Eating that type of stuff, and it was like, no, we gotta slow down. So now we working out. You know, I've been working out consistently for 6 months. Lost about 40 pounds.
Awesome.
But it's based off, you know, my wife is a huge credit to this. She you know, always the meal prepping and things of that nature. But it's the consistency in what we're doing, and I think the JuiceCrush and just juicing is going to be so important into the lifestyle that people are wanting to live today. Like, I'm pretty sure before 2020, juicing was a thing, but it's not as pivotal as it is now, because people are worrying about their health. They want to stay active. They want to live longer, and that's the case. So I think you guys have, you know, obviously worked your butts off to create something beautiful, a gold mine. We already know it's going to be successful. Being Black females, how much pressure do you guys feel to maintain a successful customer service business? Like, understanding, like, everybody's like, support Black business, but there's a thing where, you know, we want to support, but the customer service is off. There, you know, people not punctual, you know, time. You know, we see this in the hair business. Like, you know, I can't come to the appointment. Well, I got to cancel 24 hours before. Like, you know, it's not dependable. So how important is it to you guys, or what pressure do y'all feel in y'all's field?
I'll let you go. We always talk about this.
It is a lot of pressure, but I think customer service comes natural for us, just because we had our mother who always worked in the customer service industry, and she's like speaking. And even if we go to stores, or even when she's off, she's speaking to people. And I'm like, Mom, like, you don't got to talk to these people, you know, but it was just one of those things where, you know, she just never met a stranger. And that's what we saw growing up. And I think a lot of it is, a lot of people are seeing how their parents talk and treat other people. And we weren't raised to, you know, do that. Even with our grandmother, she always made sure she spoke and, had a conversation with people, and they remembered her, and people remember how you make them feel. Ultimately at the end of the day. And this is Miss Queen customer service here. So she's gonna make sure, like, good morning, and if you don't say it back, good morning. So that is so her. So I mean, I guess it's just one of those things. We always want to make sure our customers feel seen, feel remembered, and even, what is it, like, for family, occupation, what else is it? What are
you talking about when you...
It's like an acronym for family, occupation, something. I don't know. But anyways, you just try to hit those aspects, because it's like, oh, how's the kid? Or, what happened with so-and-so? And they feel good. Like, oh, they actually remembered me and they actually cared. And, we're following up like, hey, what's the doctor saying? Like, is this working? Or even if people come in and I'm like, is your doctor saying, can you have this? Or can we make you something special? Like, just going into like, y'all will create something for me. I mean, I'm a spend more money just because you make me feel like I'm the only customer.
Yeah, they do that. They like keep on buying stuff. They go to the fridge and just bring a whole bunch of stuff. Like today, Bree asked one of our customers, she said, well, did you check on your blood pressure lately? And she said, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't.
Oh.
But she said, but I'm going to, because, you reminded me and I'm going to do it. Yeah. But, just showing that we remember that you have blood pressure issues. And for her, I remember her saying that. The lady was like, you know what, I'm going to. But she felt like, shoot, you remembered? That's or the little boy today, he came yesterday for the first time ever. And I said, hey, Jordan. He was like, hey, Clay.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. You can't.
If you remember their names, ooh, you won.
Yeah. So I mean, if your customer service is top tier, people will definitely just spend more, and they feel good with spending with you, especially if they know, like, okay, I'm not just a dollar to them; they actually care.
Yeah,
and we do. Like, we actually care about these people, because that's why we came into a desert community in the first place.
Yeah, and then y'all have a huge emotional attachment.
Right.
From like your mother, like, that's huge. Like, you understand what that feels like. And so you could take that exact same feeling and nourishment that you guys have for your mother, and apply it to other people. So I think that's huge. I always got to ask that, just because I know we do get a lot of flack, and when we start businesses, and it's layers to the business. Like, customer service is one of those layers that's just super important. And just how you make people feel. So that's dope. My last thing is, you guys manifestors to the fullest. Like, you guys believe in manifestation. It's a thing. I need to know. Right? It has to be documented. What are we seeing JuiceCrush in 5 to 10 years? Like, what's the plan?
Well, they say you need to create your exit strategy when you start the business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we already are working on our second location.
Okay.
So that's been exciting. The second location is coming in 2023. And we are definitely planning on having more locations throughout the state. And the two of us stepping outside of JuiceCrush and allowing other people to run it. We want to be in the backfield. Like, it's so hard right now to let it go. And to even have employees. We've been grooming a young lady who we know wants to get into entrepreneurship, and she's in high school now. So we've been having her here on Saturdays, and just seeing how we're affecting her, and she's feeling good about, learning the ropes of it. We're now open to having more people come in. And we're going to have to, because we're having a second location. So just letting
it's scary, though. It's so scary.
And listen, when you put your blood, sweat, and tears into something, and you got to let other people do it, oh my God.
Yeah. But you know what? We've had employees, like she said, she used to work for me, and my old former employees, still to this day, I can talk to. One's the vice president of a student housing company, and I just spoke with her on LinkedIn and saw the remarkable things that she's doing now. Just to know that I made an impact on people, I know how many more people we're going to impact, bringing them into our business. So JuiceCrush is about to be throughout the state of South Carolina. Hopefully we'll be in Texas too.
Come on. They like it.
North Carolina. We trying to expand, man. We're trying to expand.
Man, that's dope, man. You put that black stamp on in Houston, they gonna flock. So I can't
Look,
wait.
my licenses want us to come down there so bad. I'm like, well, can we get to a second location down the street first, and then
you talking about Shell?
Shell and Chauncey. I got 2 licenses there, or 3.
Shell was just at the Houston parade. I sat down with her.
Oh yeah, yesterday.
Yeah, I sat down with her on the podcast. I mean, I learned so much. I learned so much from her. Like, I mean, her story was crazy, and I was just like, man, that's super dope. But man, I appreciate the manifestation. I can't wait to run this back 5 to 10 years from now and be like, Bree and Quay said they was gonna do it, and they look at them now. So it's like, it's awesome to see that. I hope y'all get butterflies out. Y'all get super excited because y'all just scratched the surface, man. Like, there's no ceiling for y'all. Like, it's nothing but up from here. You guys continue to do what you do. Like, it seems like talking to you guys, y'all know the business front and back. Y'all got a passion for it. Like, y'all got the it factor. Like, that's what I kind of look for when I talk to people. Is like, do they have the passion for what they're doing? Because you could tell, like, if you ain't got the passion, then it's not gonna last long. You're not gonna be able to endure the hard times or have those tough conversations with people that need to be had because you don't care about it too much. But you guys care so much, and I think the cause of what you guys have is super dope. So shout out where they can find you guys, because when they listen here, like, I just want them to be able to know, like, it's in Myrtle Beach. If you ever stop by, you got to go get you a juice. So where are you guys located? And then I just need recommendations. So if y'all can give me 1 or 2 recommendations of who I need to speak with next, we'll get them on the show.
Love it. Go ahead, Bree. Where are we located?
Well, our first location is located at 505 Church Street in Conway, South Carolina. 29526 is that zip code. And our second location is, like I said, it's coming January 2023, but we will be in Myrtle Beach. Okay. And we'll give that address out as soon as we, get contracts and everything signed.
Gotcha.
But yeah, all of our social media, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, it's all JuiceCrush MB. Okay. And that stands for Myrtle Beach. So JuiceCrush MB. And you can visit our website at JuiceCrushMB.com.
Okay. That's dope. Let's go.
You can find me at Juicy Quay on Instagram and her
Be Strong Sales.
Please follow her so you can give her the post more.
I'll be posting more.
Look, I think I followed everybody. Once you sent me the Instagram, I did follow. So just be on the lookout. I'm gonna tag you guys in something tonight. Just this is what we like to do. But man, yeah, you gotta post more, man.
Big boss talk. I see you. I
got you. My personal recommendation for who needs to come on next, my Neo. I'm gonna keep it in the family. Okay. Aljanice.
Okay.
Dawson Scott. She is the owner of OTG On The Go at Leisure Wear. Okay. She's doing big things. So that's my recommendation for the next person to get on the show. I was going to do her too. Oh, you going to do her too? Yeah.
It's cool. We'll take one for right now.
Oh, yeah. Shannon Schultz, our attorney.
Yeah.
Okay, There we go. So
another
all I ask
is,
dang, that's crazy, man. I'm about to run through the whole family. So listen, hey, I like it. If y'all can send me, through email or Instagram, just send me their profiles. I'll reach out to them. I'll do the legwork. But you can also just send them a message like, hey, we just hopped on Big Boss Talk, the podcast. You might have seen it, heard about it. He's gonna be reaching out to you. You can say yes or no. It doesn't matter. But it's been an hour and some change. I hope y'all had fun, because I had fun.
Yeah, we can keep talking, man. This is what we do every day.
Hey, that's good.
We just talk all day, every day.
I love it. Well, listen, I tell people, a few years go by, I'm bringing some guests back, and we're gonna do it again. And hopefully, if I could get to South Carolina or something, if y'all have like events or anything like that, I would love to be, come support, be a part of. I'm trying to, as we grow, we want to be able to come back to some of those guests that we brought on, especially within their business, and just be able to be a part and show love. I don't want you to think this is transactional. I'm a supporter for life, and I love what you guys got going on.
Yes, and I want to also plug in one more person.
Yeah.
Donald Wilson will also be a great person. He created our JuiceCrush logo. He does all of our JuiceCrush merch as well.
And he's doing a lot of comics for Target.
Illustrations.
I know we said a lot of women, but on the
yeah.
men's side, he also went to Carolina, but he's doing a lot of big things with illustrations and cartoons.
Info.
Yeah, y'all know what's crazy is I talked to Donald. He did my illustration.
Look at that.
Man, yeah. Me and Donald plugged in.
Getting it.
Man, I know Donald
love it.
plugged in. So yeah, we plugged in, but that's a good plug though. I'm glad y'all did.
Yeah,
That's a good
small
plug.
world, man. You see us, Don.
Yeah. I'm gonna let them know. But thank you guys so much. I'm gonna let you guys go. Have a great night. Be safe and continue to work hard because I'm looking at you guys as motivation, and we can go to the top together. But I'm definitely loving what you guys got going on. So thank you.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate you.
Anytime. Y'all have a good one, okay?
All right, you too. You take care.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.